Hey, what's happening? Welcome to Redmen TV. So yeah, the breaking news this bank holiday Monday is that Trent Alexander-Arnold has officially announced that he will leave Liverpool Football Club at the end of the season on a free transfer. One of the worst kept secrets in football. Another of them, is out in public now. I think that's one thing that we can definitely say. What this isn't is a 100% confirmation of the move to Real Madrid, but that feels pretty academic at this point. But this is just Trent taking his time to basically put it out there that he won't be a Liverpool player anymore. I'll read from the quotes. After 20 years at Liverpool Football Club, now is time for me to confirm that I'll be leaving at the end of the season. This is easily the hardest decision I've made in my life. I know many of you have wondered why, or been frustrated that I haven't spoken about this yet, but it was always my intention to keep my full focus on the team's best interests, which was securing number 20. This club has been my whole life, my whole world for 20 years, from the academy right until now. The support and love I have felt from everyone inside and outside the club will stay with me forever. I will forever be in debt to you all, but I have never known anything else. And this decision is about experiencing a new challenge, taking myself out of my comfort zone, and pushing myself both professionally and personally. I have given my all every single day I've been at this club, and I hope you feel like I've given back to you during my time here. From the bottom of my heart, I thank everyone, my coaches, my managers, my teammates, the staff, and our incredible supporters for the last 20 years. I've been blessed enough to live out my dreams, and I will never, ever take for granted the special moments I've been fortunate enough to have lived through with you all. My love for this club will never die. So yes, Trent Alexander-Arnold, that's on his official Twitter account, and presumably his other social accounts as well. The Athletic had it early doors. James Pearce and David Ornstein were reporting the news at 26 minutes past 10 this morning, when I was absolutely in the shower and recording this. Oh wow, that's quick. That's probably the quickest turnaround from shower to ready to go I've done in my entire life. Anyone who's known me, I enjoy a shower. I enjoy a long shower. Yeah, it is. I also fall on the bank holiday Monday, which normally wouldn't matter because we normally work bank holidays here at Redmen, but not today because it is my wife's birthday this weekend, and I've decided to basically let everyone enjoy the bank holiday. I've got a load of family coming around very shortly. I've still got to go and buy the burgers and sausages for the birthday barbecue bash, and then Trent has done this. So, whether I was on his side or not feeling great about it right now. Let's be perfectly honest. No, look, we've known this was coming, right? I'd be interested to get people's take, because barring a couple of moments where we thought there might be a dramatic U-turn over the coming weeks, particularly with Virgin and Mo signing new deals, and then there was like people pulling out the lip reading techniques for the conversation between John Henry and Trent pitchside after last weekend's title celebrations, or amid last weekend's title celebrations. There were still people coming to me going, maybe he's going to pull a Wolf of Wall Street last home game of the season. That's put that to bed. So yeah, we can stop sort of expending energy on it. We've known for the longest time that Real Madrid was going to be his destination, that he was going to leave on a free transfer. And it was just really an issue about filling in the gaps with speculation and rumours until it was 100% confirmed. This is the way he's chosen to go about it. And I think you could sense the mood in the way that the three contract sort of issue players had gone about the business this season. Salah and Virgil, in different ways, both really positive about the idea that they wanted to stay. Virgil very cool about it, refusing to be drawn, not going on any big PR mission, just saying, no, it's cool. I'm sure things will be sorted out or whatever. Salah going on a real front foot offensive, doing interviews like Salah never does interviews, like very, very, very rarely. And for him to basically throw himself into the limelight was a really interesting sign of him trying to sort of throw his cards down on the table and force Liverpool's hand a little bit. And Trent has kind of stayed outside of it all. And I agree nominally with the notion of, I don't discuss my business in public, but it was too obviously done. You don't want to discuss your business. Like when people don't tell you who they vote for, and you really know who they vote for, because they're well aware of what kind of response it will generate when they tell you who it is they actually vote for. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I don't hate it. What I've personally said all along is I'm not against someone wanting to try something new in life. I'm genuinely not. But it would always have come better if he'd kind of come out and said this. Now, obviously, this is before the end of the season. It had to be said eventually. The problem is that we've got like an idea of a nostalgised version of things, or maybe a fan's eye view of things, and not a business view of things. Now, obviously, until the point at which the Real Madrid deal is either as close to being sorted as it can be, or it's 100% confirmed, you don't really want to tip your hand that you're leaving because you're burning a bridge, and then what happens if that doesn't come through? We've seen transfers fall through. The one I always refer back to was Pepe Reina was due to join Barcelona. So I think it was Valdez was the goalie at the time, was set to leave. And Pepe Reina, and then Jonathan Northcroft at the time, I'd got hold of this, and he was sourcing it, and I think it was even double sourced. Like Reina had like started to move his kids out of school, and he was shipping his cars back to Spain, and all these kind of things. And then Valdez just decided to stay at Barcelona, and Pepe Reina's move fell through as a result. Now on Reina's side, that was all getting done and dusted, but that's why I think in some regards you've got to be calm about these things, because who knows, you turn around to Liverpool and give them the big V's, saying I'm off, and then all of a sudden that exit pathway is blocked, then you've left yourself in a bit of a difficult, if not untenable sort of situation. So it's a weird one, and I think the fact that he's a homegrown lad obviously adds to all of this. For me, it kind of taints it puts the final nail in the coffin of the idea that homegrown lads who've come through academies can really be fans of a football club. I'm not saying he doesn't think he's a fan. I'm sure he thinks he's a Liverpool fan. But there is a wild difference now when, if you've been at, 20 years, he's 6 when he goes to the academy. One of my youngest is 9, my nephew's 4, somewhere in between. They love the idea of Liverpool, and they love the kit, but they're not like, they love footy, but they're not like, it's weird. I think, I'm not sure, it's a job, isn't it? And once you've been through that academy, I don't think you get to support the football club in the same way as if someone's grown up with it and idolised it in the same way. I don't think you can idolise something that you're a part of in the same sort of way. You can certainly have loyalty to it, and you can have brand loyalty in some regards, but maybe you can, I don't know. It just feels like my general sense of, I think we presume when someone says they're a Liverpool fan, they're a Liverpool fan to the depth that we are. But of course, there's a million ways to support Liverpool. You can just like the kits and follow the scores, or you can be every minute, every kick, every stat. Again, there's people who delve into data, there's people who just feel the emotion, there's people who go home and away, there's people who just go home, but they've just gone home for 50 years. How do you measure support? But it is interesting when you look at someone like, let's look at Harvey Elliott as an example, who actually came out last week. He's not playing. He's not the level of in that starting 11 as Trent is. He'll have to consider his future in the summer, but he desperately wants to play for Liverpool because it's his dream to play for Liverpool. Now, I don't think it's Trent's dream necessarily to play for Real Madrid. It will be interesting to see how when that's announced, how he talks about it, what his first interview sort of says. Does he reveal a long-standing passion for that team? I really don't know. But I'm not against Scousers becoming global icons and seeking to better themselves. It's really frustrating that you feel that you can't do that in this city, and particularly with one of the football clubs that's right at the top of football. If you're winning leagues and you're challenging for Champions Leagues and you're hoovering up trophies every other season, then more trophies, okay, cool, more medals, more trophies perhaps at Real Madrid, perhaps, and definitely a new challenge, and definitely a different challenge. I can't hate that, but there is always a sting to it of feeling again, goes back to that fan thing. You're a fan, and if you've grown up a fan, then I'm quoting Keogh from this, but should your life ambition not be to make sure that Liverpool win more trophies than everyone, particularly Man United? We are now, Liverpool are now and they always were, but in recent years we've been the most successful English football club. And adding the 20th league title just makes it academic as far as comparisons to Manchester United. But like, get 21 and 7 and 22 and 8 and add some FA Cups, and you know what I mean? Like, and really put your foot to the floor and really open up that gap to Man United. For a lot of Liverpool fans, that would be our dream, to be able to contribute towards that. When I started, but before we started Redmen, I got in touch with LFC TV all those many, many years ago and said, I can't score goals for Liverpool, but I can make a show that I think Liverpool fans will like and resonate with. Whether I've done that remains to be seen, but to the point of like, yeah, I haven't got the skill set required to help Liverpool win more trophies, but if I did, I would. The skill set I've got, I always wanted to put towards making Liverpool better. Yeah, so yeah, weird one. I think we have a weird thing in this city where it's sort of Scousers don't want to spread their wings and stuff and maybe move out of the city. It always feels a little bit off. Maybe this is just the Scouse perspective. If you're not from Liverpool, you've never been from Liverpool, how are you feeling about this? Do you relate to his decision to want to move, or do you think that, you know, it regardless of where he's from, he should be wanting to stay? I've said it often, there's no really good way to leave Liverpool, because if you're rubbish, well, you weren't good enough to play for Liverpool and you'll have personal regrets for that. If the manager decides they don't like you and decides to move you on, then you'll harbour some regrets on that side. If you decide you don't want to play for Liverpool, then you'll forever be, the fans will forever turn on you, won't remember you in the same way. So there's not, I mean, and then even players who've left on free transfers, I mean, like, lots of our really good players have left on free transfers. Is it just the fact that he's now going to another, he's in the prime of his career and he's going to another really successful club? And I think that's largely what it boils down to. I don't see people kicking off because Bobby Firmino's winning the AFC Champions League. People are quite happy for him. And maybe, you know, as long as it doesn't trample on Liverpool's toes, maybe we'll be able to be happy for Trent in the future. But right now, there's a world where we're going to come up against Real Madrid and Trent's going to be on the pitch in white. And I'm not sure I'm going to like that. But life's a shithouse. Generally speaking, the good thing is it's not really, because Liverpool are champions. I mean, one of the beautiful things, I wasn't working the game yesterday, the Chelsea game, but I seen the reactions from people in the studio to people who were in the ground. Chloe just made up because she just had this incredible party full of super happy people, and then exposure to just negativity and internet comments ruined Chris for being in the studio. So yeah, a quick reminder that Liverpool are champions of England, things move on. And one thing I would say is Liverpool are going to go in the transfer market in the summer, but how amazing is Bradley? Every time he plays, I think, yeah, could be a completely different footballer, completely different skill set. I don't like to say, oh, he'll be better than Trent. He'll be different than Trent, but he can also be excellent, just as excellent as Trent, but in completely different ways. So, yeah, we all knew it was coming. It feels weird regardless. I think for me, a bit like the emotion of it will hit me when I see him announced as a Real Madrid player. This is just what I expected to happen. It's a bit like the other week, I was a bit emotional when it was confirmed we were going to win the league, but when I see us lift that trophy, I'm going to be an absolute blubbering mess in the best possible way, and this will be the counterpoint to that. But anyway, yeah, look, thoughts in the comments. Sorry, this is a little bit rough and ready, but yeah, we're flying by the seat of our pants today because everyone is off. So yeah, thanks for the support of everything we do. If you want to grab yourself some Champions merch to make yourself feel absolutely amazing, head over to redmenmerch.com and fill your boots on that good stuff as well. But yeah, other than that, that is it for now. Trent won't be a Liverpool player. He will be ending his 20-year association. How will you see him off? Will you see him off with a round of applause or a boo, or just stony silence? Let me know in the comment section underneath. But one thing we can say, he has been a sensational servant for Liverpool. He has been one of the best players on the planet and grown into that on our watch. To see his career blossom has been a genuine thrill, and to see all the accolades that he's helped to bring us has been, yeah, very, very life-affirming along the way. It shouldn't be forgotten, but perhaps it will taint his overall legacy, but we shall see on that. Anyway, that's it. Subscribe, like, cheers.